All right, Tracy.
I say real. Um, our
Very lukewarm.
emergency, our healthcare system is trash. I know that's not what this story is about, but it's trash. We got too many people using emergency rooms for primary care when they should be going to a regular doctor. Well, because they can't afford to go to a doctor, they use the ER, and then that makes the people who have chronic pain, who have high insulin, high sugar levels, have to wait for care that they critically need. That's the first problem. Second problem is that the insurance to even call an ambulance, this guy isn't going to just have that problem. If he's uninsured, he's going to have a whole lot of problems. But if he's lucky enough to have insurance, every time you call an ambulance, that's a $1,500 copay. If you are lucky, if you're one of the lucky ones that have health insurance, that's a $1,500 copay that man had to go through. He's in pain. That's all he cares about, and that should be what he cares about. But we need to look at the whole healthcare system. He needs to be treated by a doctor so that he's not having to cart off to the ER every time for chronic pain. This kind of thing doesn't make sense. The ER should be for you're having a baby, you had a heart attack, uh, you got shot, something that's urgent, not
Yeah,
just
something sudden.
some son. Thank you.
We do need chronic care centers.
No, I'm not saying we don't, but I'm saying we shouldn't. He shouldn't have had to gone to the ER for that
This is
care. He should have been monitored by a doctor to treat his chronic pain, so he wouldn't have to go to the ER. Now I no, because you get it. He's in pain. Hey, that's the
mhm.
first thing I'm doing. When my blood sugar hit 750, I was like, oh no, y'all got to come get me. Period. No matter of fact, I drove myself to the hospital. I
Which
literally
is
drove
very
myself
dangerous.
to. I know, but I was just
I
like
get it.
this man. You aren't
I get
rationally
it.
thinking. I was not rationally thinking. What I should have done was park the car, call the ambulance, and go. But I was like, nope, I'm driving, so I just drove to the ER, parked
And
my
I
car, and then said that. And I get where he's at because when you're in that kind of pain, when you're in that kind of everything hurts, thinking is out the window. You're
Mhm.
just thinking, I'm in pain and somebody's got to help me.
yeah,
That's
and
the
I know
only
that's
thing
not
you're thinking.
where this was going, but Tracy, you hit on something that I'm very sensitive about. You know, if if this person qualifies for Medicaid, then he'll be spared the ambulance cost, which
Right.
would probably lower his threshold for when he would use them like a
Right.
taxi service versus something else. Right?
Right.
But get this
Th-
though.
That's a big old if because you got to be
That's a
dirt
big
poor
if,
to
but
to qualify for
it's
Medicaid.
not even a big if. It's not even a big if because if he's got a serious disability, which he most likely does,
You
given
just
how the
have
story
to
was told,
check
he
certain
can qualify
boxes.
for Medicaid. But the thing is, what it takes to be on Medicaid is so extreme, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be at like a death's door, or you gotta have like full on kidney failure, or it's gotta be something really big to get there. But here's where I want to transition a little bit.
Yeah.
And Tracy, I know you're probably gonna take this and run a different way with it. But look at what just happened in Washington. Now, granted, when you balance out everything that happened with the debt versus the budget thing, nothing really changed that much. I mean, it changed on some of the margins, but Biden did a good job keeping it in the rails, so to speak. But the fact remains, where were they negotiating? They weren't negotiating on revenue taxing the people who could afford to pay more
Mm-mm.
taxes. They
That
were
was off the table.
negotiating on the people who can barely afford to survive in this society. They're negotiating on people on Medicare, Medicaid, and things like that, because that's where a significant part of this country would say to this man, you should have saved up more. You should have had this or that or whatever. You just got to figure it out. And I'm like, the medical expenses, Tracy. I know you know this. I did it from having to deal from Medicare sales and services.
If you are
The cost
disabled,
of
you are
some
exempt
people's
from any work
medication.
Yeah, the cost of
requirement.
Not only that, but
medication.
I'm saying the cost of one medication can be $1,000 a month.
Oh,
It just
insulin is
depends on what
15.
you're dealing with.
Insulin is $1,500. Imagine taking two of those.
Uh-huh.
That's three
But I'm saying
thousand
if you don't
dollars.
have insurance costs, or even with insurance, you can have $1,000 prescription cost,
That's why I
right?
said
At
if
least
he's
if you have
looking.
insurance, your insulin you can get it for like $40, which it shouldn't even be that expensive. But
That's
the
if you're
stuff that
lucky.
people, yeah, but the stuff that people who are in like full on like what's it? It's not scleroderma, it's the other one where all your nerves are literally fighting against each other. You know what I'm saying? Fibromyalgia, right?
Fibromyalgia.
You
Yeah,
got,
fibromyalgia.
man, those costs would be ridiculous.
I have that
Lupus,
diagnosis
ridiculous.
too.
That's
Cancer,
why I said our whole
ridiculous.
thing. I absolutely I believe the story about the security guard driving the car. I've seen it happen. It hasn't happened to me, but I've
Yeah.
seen it happen. So I'm like, yep, believe it.
And
Absolutely.
I do honestly think that our healthcare needs some chronic care centers, because when we go to an ER, we are really mistreated. They don't know how to help you when
Yeah, they'll just tell you to wait your turn.
That's
And
not
you
what they're there for. Let's just
yeah,
be
that's
real
not
about it.
right.
exactly.
The whole that's what
So
Anna's saying. The whole system
who
is
is
terrible.
there?
Because whether you have insurance or whether you don't, you're still getting worked. If you have insurance, you're going to have a super high deductible, which means you're going to have to meet it out of pocket. And if you don't have insurance, yes, you could qualify for Medicaid, but good luck with that. That's what, a 6, maybe 8 months waiting time. Maybe
And
if you,
then let's say you go to the hospital, all right? You go to the ER,
You probably have a
and you're a
2-year
chronic
waiting around.
and you're a chronic care patient. Okay? You're a
Mhm.
chronic care patient. That means you only work with specialists.
right,
So
Not
that means
only,
just
but
to see
a
your,
lot.
well, mainly you work with like your primary, and then you got like certain specialists who help you with certain things. At least that's how it is for my mom and my brother and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's how it is.
you, to get to the specialist you need, that can be, you got to schedule that a week out or whatever
a
that
week.
rotation is.
Oh no, 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 no. A
If
Months.
specialist
you're on
is
a
at least
if
months,
you're on an
Months out.
established
months,
schedule,
months.
that's if you're calling because, hey, I need. I'm saying, but normally, like with my family, they're on a rotation where they have to show up at this frequency, so it's not that thing. But if you're
Wow.
trying to get to
You
somebody
got you
in
gonna
between your window, you can't get to them, right? You go to the emergency room. I'm doing gunshots, heart attacks, and what was it,
hey,
neonatal stuff, and you sit here talking about you in pain.
Yep.
But I see you all the time. You always in pain. Ain't nothing I can do. We'll give you a Demerol drip, and we ain't got the beds to spare. And it's
Right.
just this twisted
it's a sick system.
thing.
That's why I said it's a sick system. It's
And
the
then we push you on to some opioids, and
what you get addicted to.
And
now
let
you
me
get
tell
locked into
you,
that system.
some high doses of vitamin C do wonders for chronic pain. But you don't have to go to opiates. There are some things you can do
Yeah,
that,
but
Right.
they'll send you
But
there.
and that's what they do in ERs. Oh, we'll just give you.
of
I
course,
tell you what.
because they're gonna try to
Oh,
Get
help
you,
you
get
as
we
you
didn't
soon
let
as
in, get
Marlon
they
you.
talk. We didn't.
possibly
Yeah, they
can.
Sorry,
gotta get
Marlon.
you.
They're under
Yeah.
a
But that's what I'm saying. Like when I had my, this is too much information I'm about to share, but it's gonna make a lot of sense. When I had my cycle pain, and it was so severe that I was vomiting. I was in so. I mean, I'm talking about.
I
I
know
was
what
in.
you're talking about.
I'm just like, nah, I can't take
Mhm.
this. I can't take this.
Mhm.
I went to the hospital for the ER at least 5 or 6 times. The
Mhm.
last time I went, which was 2 years ago, somebody was like, go see this person. I went to see that person, and they scheduled me a vaginal ultrasound, and I got diagnosed. And that diagnosis and that treatment, I'm like, why didn't somebody tell me this? I went through all of them years, all of
Why?
that pain,
Hmm.
all that
Oh,
vomiting
God.
and sweating and just being in so much pain that I would literally cry. Yeah, I know I don't cry. I don't cry. I don't care. I'm not gonna cry. I was
Yep.
crying. I
Mhm.
can't imagine the pain that people like Anna go
Mhm.
through. I can't even get to that. I can't imagine because I thought I literally thought, Lord, is this it?
We all
Are
have
you
our
calling me
own
home?
thresholds, so like worse, there is no comparison really, Tracy. I
No.
I really believe that your worst, I know that is an unbelievable, like
No, I mean, it's just like I
it's
said, the healthcare
it's
system is
different,
sick.
and
It's
yeah.
like, yep, because even if you have insurance, people say, oh, well, you got employee insurance. Yeah, good luck with that $6,000 deductible out of pocket that you have to meet. And that's
I
if you
will
get a good plan.
I
That's if
will
you get a
often
decent.
say that Medicaid is actually a better health
Medicaid
plan
is the
than
better plan.
so many different things out
Yes,
there.
because when I was on Medicaid, I didn't have to pay for my insulin. I
No
didn't have to
copay,
pay for my sensor. I didn't have to pay copays. I didn't have to pay out of pocket. Best plan I ever had.
nothing.
Worst plan, the one I'm on now. I'm like, how much is how much is supposed to $7,000? Where am I coming up with 7,000? Because if you know you're gonna be in the hospital, now, because I haven't been in the ER in 2 years for my diabetes. If you know you got specialists and
Yeah,
neurologists and
you will
kidney
need
doctors,
that.
you gonna meet it. But where you gonna get the $7,000 from?
Exactly.
Where is this coming from? But
Why are our doctors costing? I mean, there are some Lyme doctors that I contact out there. They quote thousands of dollars an hour
an
because
hour
they
and
do
don't
spend like 2 to 4 hours with you for the first time.
Mickey saying
So,
she didn't get addicted. Mickey, you one of the lucky ones, cause boy, I know some people get addicted to Oxycontin.
oh,
Woo, boy, they be
yeah,
on. I mean, they will literally move heaven and earth to get them some oxy. I mean,
there
my
are
pain was
some
so
people
bad
that
they
are
gave
just
me
not addicted.
Vicodin. When they give you Vicodin drips, that's when you know it's bad. It's like, wait a minute. I was like, no, just give me an ibuprofen, which I
Hmm.
can't take either. But if you got all those specialists, like you said, you said it better than I could. Medicaid is the best system for us to have as a nation because it's just nothing. You just literally walk into your primary doctor,
Yeah,
you get a
that's how
referral,
it
you
should be.
go, that's it. You ain't got to do it. This system that this man and us is under,
Mhm.
terrible.
Hey, Marlon, welcome back.
Marlon?
How you doing, Marlon?
One, I'm not gonna give you my answer now because I don't want to look stupid. And two, because I have nothing to add to this conversation, so I took myself off on purpose. I literally was sitting here this whole time. I have no experience in this whatsoever, and I'm not on no ego trip to go, and
Yes,
puff
you
on my
The
cigar.
You were Foxy's caregiver when she went through her illness.
the only place where I had a little bit of a feeling was trying to was it more addictive behavior or was he in pain?
Yeah, because if
We
they
will
just
never know from the outside. We will never know.
nope, because sometimes you do have to doctor shop. I had to.
Yeah.
It took, like I said, it took me 5 years, and that if that one nurse had said go to this person, I still would have been barfing and throwing up and in pain and all those things.
And
Is that
sometimes the
fun then?
hospitals know what they're dealing with, and they will refuse to give you priority care because they know you're just shopping for medication.
Yep, they sure
So
Hmm.
will.
there's layers to all of it.
There are
Um,
Yep,
but yeah,
notes.
either way, it's just a bad situation.
it's
But
bad.
America is having a hard time with it because it's the same issue we always have. You know, who gets to share in the benefits? That's the American story.
Hmm.
Chase it out almost anything you want to. The moment you went through desegregation, the issue has, well, actually, before that, the issue has always been in America who benefits from it, who gets a share in the benefits. If you said to conservative people that, hey, only people who act like you, like the red states, like what Trump was doing to people, would get the benefits, they'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see that because we work hard over here. We do things the right way over here, right? But then when you say, well, we're gonna let the the undocumented people get some too.
Oh
They
no!
go,
Wait a minute.
"Ooh,
No,
no, I
this is
might
my
let a
country.
few of them. I might let a few of them darkies up in here, but I ain't gonna do that one right there. You know, and it's just like,
Country ain't
can
even
we be
ours.
human? Let's do human, man. But whatever.
All right, let's move on, everybody. Another real or nah.
That's going to be really hard for you to break up, but
Sure is.
I'm so
Boy,
sorry.
we
went,
didn't know. We were like, well,
And I'm putting the whole freaking thing on. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Hey, edit out the darkest statement. Get that part out.
Ain't.